Republicans are making good on a 7-year pledge to repeal and replace Obamacare.
President Trump is taking a victory lap, if you will, tonight after a revamped version of the GOP health care plan squeaked through the House.
KCAL9 political reporter Dave Bryan joins us now with a very long fight that's still ahead, Dave.
A long fight ahead, but you know what? I don't think anyone thought this thing was going to pass. A week ago, this was a laughingstock. I mean, it's quite an achievement, actually. President Trump led a Rose Garden celebration outside the White House with a large crowd of Republican Congress members cheering him on. It's still a long road to the finish line, but for the president and his party, this is a pretty good start that surprised a lot of people. President Trump gave a fist-waving salute in the White House Rose Garden as Republicans celebrated their GOP health care bill with plenty of hugs and smiles. The bill eliminates or changes some of the fundamental elements of Obamacare, which House Speaker Paul Ryan belittled as a failed experiment.
What protection is Obamacare if there is no health care plan to purchase in your state?
The Republican bill would provide tax credits to help people buy insurance, but many low-income and older Americans would get less than Obamacare currently provides. And insurers would be allowed to charge older customers 5 times more than younger customers. Under Obamacare, that ratio is capped at 3-to-1. States would also be allowed to roll back the requirement that all insurance plans cover a set of basic services, including, for example, maternity care and emergency services. Republicans say that flexibility will lower prices.
This is going to bring down premiums and get things back on track and give people options.
Republicans didn't wait for the Congressional Budget Office, the CBO, to analyze the cost and impact of their bill. But an initial report on an earlier version of the plan projected it would leave 24 million more Americans without health coverage, 14 million of them because of cuts in Medicaid funding. Anthony Wright is the executive director of Health Access California.
This is a massive cut to the healthcare system on which we all rely. There's no way that this is in the interest of California. California was the state that took advantage the most of the benefits under the Affordable Care Act, and so we have the most to lose under a proposal like this.
The entire California Republican delegation voted yes on the health care bill, just one day after nearly half the GOP congressmen from this state were listed as either undecided or no on the bill. But some, like Orange County Congressman Darrell Issa, may have done so at their own risk. A group of demonstrators gathered outside Issa's district office in Vista to protest his yes vote.
We want Darrell Issa to fight for health care for everyone that lives in his district because it is people's lives.
Joel Fox is the president of the Small Business Action Committee and a professor at Pepperdine. He says issues like this may be difficult for some Republican candidates in certain California districts to overcome.
Republicans have to fight and claw and argue for every inch and every vote come election time. There's a lot of issues that they're going to have to argue with a changing demographic. And they may do so successfully. I mean, I think it's just a bit premature to sing goodbye.
Nonetheless, this is still a very big win for President Trump and the Republican leadership to pass a controversial bill which divided their own party, a bill which many analysts thought was DOA a long time ago. And wow, they really turned it around.
They sure did, Dave. Now,
yeah.
What do we expect in the Senate?
Well, that's the $64,000 question tonight. The truth is the bill faces an uncertain future in the Senate. How's that for a non-answer? The Republicans have a very small advantage in the Senate, much smaller than the House, which they dominate. And there are several moderate Republican senators who may have a problem with some pieces of the House bill. Even if the Senate does pass this package, it will likely attach several amendments and changes, which would then have to be reconciled with the House bill before it could become law. But at this point, it's not even clear whether this bill will be approved by the Senate, which it could take up as soon as next month. Yeah. So we'll find out.
So, Dave, let's talk on down the road, because we know that the president wants to tackle tax reform. He also wants to tackle the infrastructure bill. Yeah. Will this give him a little bit of momentum going into those, you think?
I think so. I mean, look, the fact of the matter is that up until now, the president really had no achievements in the legislative arena in terms of dealing with the Senate and the House. Now, at least, he's got something to hang on to. And that's one of the reasons that they held this celebration. You don't usually see a president celebrating in the Rose Garden with members of his party because a bill passes one house of the Congress. Well, they were out there in force tonight today, and the reason is because this really is the first achievement that the president has to hang on to, Jeff.
Okay, Dave, thank you so much.